In the shadowy corridors of power, where lineage reigns supreme, whispers of upheaval suddenly pierced the silence. Before we go deeper into what this really means for the royal family, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss a single update. It began with a single rumor, cascading like a torrent through the gilded halls. The heirs of a legacy, bound by ancient ties and towering expectations, stood at the brink of an unforeseen challenge. A fissure emerged in the very structure that held the monarchy together, threatening to unravel the delicate tapestry of tradition. And as the sands of time shifted with an insidious uncertainty, the family found themselves at the epicenter of a potential implosion that promised to redefine their very existence. The royal family had always cloaked themselves in a facade of unyielding resilience, a legacy of honor that seemed, until recently, impervious to the outside world. Yet beneath this veneer lay hidden ambitions and unspoken grievances, now bubbling to the surface like storm clouds on a horizon. Friends and foes alike watched from afar, both captivated and intrigued by the spectacle unfolding in real time. Every decision they made bore the weight of 1,000 years, each choice a carefully choreographed dance between past glory and future survival. As one chapter neared its conclusion, the next was already being written amidst whispers and uncertainty. The question now lingered ominously. Could they navigate this treacherous upheaval and emerge unbroken, or was their tale destined for a somber turn? Though the winds of change were ominously howling, the royal family demanded a reckoning, and their course was set towards destiny, a path steeped in both peril and possibility. As the story of their survival unfolds, the fate of a kingdom hangs in the balance, lies unwoven through courage and cunning, standing as a testament to resilience against inescapable change. The grand echo of the royal trumpets had barely faded when whispers began to rise, flickering like distant candlelight in the corridors of power. In the opulent marble halls, where every corner seemed to hold its breath, intrigue emerged as a shadowed dance partner. Not long after the high tide of celebration, when triumph and laughter echoed in staterooms, a ripple of unease skulked beneath the surface, unseen yet relentlessly present. It started with small things: letters unopened, rooms left vacant, a carriage that never arrived. But in a world determined by protocol, even a whisper could be a warning. Within this narrative unfolded a story less of loyalty, more of silent deceit. A tapestry of ambition began to weave itself together, stretching over the kingdom like a veil of fog. The young prince, so recently praised for his wisdom and temperament, found his steps dogged by uncertainty. Behind every curtain and around each corner, secrets loomed, casting long shadows over moments once bright with promise. And so it was, in the thickening twilight of intrigue, loyalty itself became a double-edged sword, its sharpness tested against bonds of blood and duty. Yet, beyond the reaching shadows, the rest of the court danced on, oblivious or perhaps unwilling to acknowledge the lurking storm. Their joyous festivities sat like a gaudy mask over the more desperate choreography playing out in hushed meetings and untrustworthy alliances. A kingdom does not simply fall in a day. Rather, it unravels slowly, thread by meticulous thread, leaving those inside to wonder at the source of the draft that chills their bones. It was then, seemingly overnight, that the heart of the matter revealed itself with brutal clarity. A missive, marked by the weight of authority and betrayal, arrived. It bore claims of treason, thick with accusations against those sworn to uphold the throne's sanctity. For the young prince, betrayal was no longer an abstract notion spun by idle tongues. It struck close, a dagger formed by sharpening whispers. In its wake stood the age-old question: how does one lead with shadows closing in, when every ally might reforge allegiance in the darkness? There were those who whispered that within the turmoil of the moment, a figure had vanished, a key player in this spiraling drama, now lost to shadow's embrace. Searches, urged by desperation, unearthed little save a chilling silence, and yet, in the absence of clarity, the void begged to be filled with speculation and fear, each confronting the whispers with stories of escape or capture, of allegiance shifted or broken entirely. The air, once crisp with autumn's promise, now hung heavy, thick with suspense. No longer merely a child of destiny, but a ruler on the brink of an unfathomable abyss. The prince stood poised, listening to the cadence of a kingdom on the edge. As one puzzle seemed poised to resolve, another spectre loomed. Would the kingdom's heart, bruised but beating, forge a path through this shroud of mystery, or would it too vanish into shadows of origins unknown? And as the drumbeat of approaching truth seemed almost audible, a new chapter wove itself into the continuing saga of royal turmoil, a testament to the enduring power struggle, as much part of the monarchy as the crown itself. Could the answer lie just beyond the next turn in the path, waiting like an echo unfinished? Amidst the grand tapestry of royal magnificence, behind the ornate doors and glittering halls, lurked the shadows of whispers, a vessel of secrets, shrouded in an unsettling, omnipresent silence. It was an open secret that every court needs its secret keeper, a role silently embraced by the Dowager Queen, whose delicate hands hid the strings of power. Her poised demeanor belied the tempest beneath, a cauldron of untold stories, evolving into legend. She moved like a ghost amid the mortals, a spectre adorned in regal silks, ensconced in the armor of nobility. Her presence was the calm before the storm, a testament to unyielding ambition wrapped in demure elegance. The dowager's life was a delicate dance on the razor's edge, her every step measured, yet the abyss always looming. Her innermost circle, well aware of the balancing act, understood they played a part in a greater tale, actors on the grand stage of sovereign machination. They whispered in hushed tones of the scandals she had snuffed out, the clandestine romances that would never grace the scandal sheets, and the political alliances forged in the crucible of stealth. In those dimly lit chambers, where jeweled illusions masked harsh realities, vital decisions rested upon the thin veneer of discretion she commanded. The weight she bore was articulated in the confident yet subtle creases lining her gaze, and each secret tucked away became a feather in her regal crown, a weightless burden disguised as grace. Her most trusted confidant carried her stories yet swore never to utter a word. It was they who had witnessed more than others dared to dream, and who knew too well the balance between destiny and downfall. On the rare quiet mornings when the court slumbered still, she unraveled threads of her stories, weaving an unyielded tapestry in the sighs of solitude. The peace beer, alas beneath her rule, became a fortress of untapped power, and she, the unseen linchpin, the tactical mind that decided some fates would proceed unnoticed, while others were etched into eternity. Yet even the most vigilant secret keeper is haunted by what flickers in the periphery, those moments when the facade might crack and the floodgates open. The ever-vigilant must steel themselves for the inevitable trials that would claw through her reality from beyond the shadows. Still, beneath the exquisite weight of a crown, never worn yet fully born, she spurred the kingdom forward, each heartbeat a calculated tempo in the symphony of intrigue she composed. In the echoes of her unseen influence, an empire thrived, refined by the whispers of a masterful secret scientist, a role rehearsed in the silent chambers of her soul. However, as morning light pierces through the ancient stone walls, the hush overtakes those hidden nooks where the dowager unspools the intricacies of dominion. She whispers against the dawn a final pledge. The secrets shall remain, entombed within the hallowed halls of memory, until the world dares to pull back the veil and glimpse that which exists beyond their imagining. How long could this delicate balance persist? The question hung like an unspoken challenge, an ever-looming storm. In the dim hallways of the aging castle, whispers of unrest circulated like a chilling breeze, unsettling all who dared to listen. The kingdom teetered on the brink of chaos, its foundations trembling under the weight of mounting tensions that could no longer be ignored. It was as if an unseen hand had woven a tapestry of discord, threading through the once united nobility and common folk alike. Factions formed in the shadows, each cast in a dangerous dance of power and pride, eager to seize the moment while the crown's authority flickered uncertainly. Yet, amidst the growing turmoil, there lay the figure of a beleaguered monarch, burdened by the whispers of betrayal that crept closer day by day, threatening to shatter the fragile peace with a single decisive blow. The captured throne room silence echoed the heartbeat of the kingdom, a heartbeat skipping to a rhythm that suggested fate was at play, as the monarch, King Aldrin, would sit beneath the ornate vault of ancestral grandeur, An unyielding weight pressed down upon him. His eyes, once vibrant with the clarity of vision, now wore the weary sheen of a ruler who had seen too much and yet comprehended too little of what loomed ahead. With each passing day, decisions became fraught with peril, clipped by shadows of doubt that no council meeting could illuminate. Allies and adversaries were but shifting faces in a kingdom where trust became a currency more precious than gold. A currency as rare as loyalty in these troubled times. Rumors hung like mist, curling into every crevice of the grand halls. Tales of secret gatherings, of hushed conspirings in tavern corners, of alliances forged over clandestine fires crackled through the air. The peasants' unrest simmered just beneath the surface, their discontent a powder keg, waiting for that one reckless spark to explode into rebellion. Within the noble circles, guarded smiles and furtive glances spoke of plots thickening, of heirs with gleaming eyes and sharp knives hidden behind silken cloaks. Nothing was beyond suspicion, not even the most sacred of oaths whispered in the quiet of sacred places. And all the while, the spectre of unending war loomed, a sinister prophecy caught on the lips of foreign emissaries who dared to speak of invasions, whispering through foreign lands. But amidst these treacherous currents, a lone truth clung desperately to prominence, an understanding deeply rooted in the kingdom's very soil. The land itself seemed to shiver in fear, an awareness that only with unity could they stand firm against the gathering storm, that only by embracing the strength of collective resolve could the kingdom escape the quagmire, threatening to drag them into ruin. Yet it is often in the greatest of crises that potential for rebirth shines brightest, isn't it? The question teased the edge of the royal consciousness as the first signs of dawn glimmered faintly through the mullioned windows, a promise and a warning that today might bring revelation, or perhaps a final descent into the abyss. And so, the kingdom lingered on the edge of oblivion or triumph, teetering in that narrow liminal space where destinies collide, where legends are carved from the stone of history. They all stood there, tremulously unbalanced before a maelstrom of choices yet to be made, where every decision, every whispered word carried a weight unimaginable. The monarch and kingdom were bound together by threads wrought of ancient legacies and fragile futures. Only time would reveal whether these threads would hold strong in the storm or unravel into the annals of bygone tales. This kingdom was on edge, bracing for the unraveling of its fate, its future uncertain, but whatever was to come, one thing was sure: the echoes of this tumultuous time would reverberate through generations, shaping the stories yet untold, whispering of power, of survival, and indeed of the enduring struggle between despair and hope. If there was ever a moment that could shift the tides of history, it was this breaking point. A moment cloaked in darkness, shimmering with a promise, both dangerous and intoxicating. In the heart of the monarchy, where corridors whispered secrets and grand halls masked the grim realities of power, a storm was brewing, unseen yet inevitable. It began with a whisper, perhaps, a rumor that slithered through the noble courts, rowing and twisting until it tangled itself around every familiar face, every trusted confidant. Even the most loyal, steadfast hearts, those who pledged their blood to the throne, felt it, a tremor of betrayal creeping through the foundations. Would bonds forged in shared glory withstand the flames of ambition, or would they dissolve like shadows under the harsh glare of truth? As the monarchy stood on the edge, precariously balancing its storied grandeur upon the knife's edge of destiny, every feigned smile in the king's court concealed a sharpened blade, one poised to sever ties that had held for generations. Desperation fueled the fires, and with it, an intoxicating sense of dread that swept through as quickly as a summer storm. The treasury's coffers were dwindling, rumors of revolution took root, and foreign threats loomed just beyond the wide expanse of sea, ready to pounce at the first crack in the royal armor. Within these august chambers where power once flowed freely, doubt began to poison their stead. And yet, in the heart of these complexities, a single decision emerged that would determine the path of a nation. This was no ordinary crossroads, but a point from which there would be no return. The sovereign, burdened by a lineage of expectations and the creeping weight of inevitable change, understood that the mantle of leadership demanded sacrifice, perhaps of one's own soul, or of those who dared to stand too close. As the tapestries of history began unfurling around allies and adversaries alike, one couldn't help but wonder which threads would weave this year's tale into a triumphant song, and which, tragically, into an elegy. In the heart of darkness, as power lay besieged by its own machinations, the path unfurls unseen revelations, inviting the intrepid and rash alike to cast their die. Would history favour the bold, or was it a curse the courageous, old not avoid? The answers lay just beyond the horizon, in anticipation of the storm's final fury. As night descended upon the sprawling kingdom, a potent air of mystery shrouded the cobblestones upon which the majestic castle had stood imperiously for centuries. Unknown to the populace who gazed upon its serene facade in admiration, deep within its very heart lay secrets as tangled as the gnarled old roots of a forgotten tree. These whispers behind gilded corridors spoke of the true architect of power, a veiled force operating beyond the sight of even the keenest eyes. Shadows moved imperceptibly through halls of sovereignty, not bound by chains or titles, but possessed of an influence so profound it orchestrated the fate of nobles and beggars alike. Theirs was a power cloaked by the guise of mere apparition, and this hidden puppet master pulled strings with a deftness that eclipsed the manufactured dramas of kings and queens. Each decision meticulously crafted, each gesture calculated, a maestro composing an opulent symphony without a stumbling note. The court, with all its grandeur and vanity, pranced blissfully unaware, enraptured by their dances of deception and dalliance. They failed to glimpse the subtle hand, guiding their every pirouette. It was a game, a performance where props were people, and lives could be slashed upon the imperious altar of ambition, without so much as a glimmer of remorse. Whispers carried tales of alliances forged in darkness, hands shaken where no treaties were signed, and unsanctioned pacts that defied the spoken law. Amid this orchestrated chaos, the royals remained prisoners. Marionettes entangled in golden strings swayed to the tune of invisible fiddlers upon high, yet, amid the secrecy, loomed the daring prospect of unveiling this enigmatic presence. It was not about unmasking the phantoms that haunted mirrorless corridors, but about discovering the unsettling truths that bound flesh to shadow. The kingdom lay suspended between the pillars of legacy and change, teetering dangerously on the knife edge of revelation. To unveil this clandestine architect would not only alter the course of a dynasty, but would ignite the rarest spark, truth, dangerous and liberating, promising both ruin and redemption in its blinding glare. In the heart of this unfolding drama, as the air hummed with the promise of revolution, the curtain barely rustled. The stage, meticulously set by forces unseen and unspoken, awaited actors brave enough to breach the curtain of illusion and step into the spotlight of history. The stakes were profound, the consequences yet unwritten, as the kingdom held its breath. Unbeknownst to the glimmering chandeliers and the pristine silk of courtly robes, an awakening loomed on the horizon, ready to pierce through the shroud of lies with the fierce light of its dawning. Would the master reveal itself, or would its shadow forever cast its veiling shadow upon time's endless masquerade? Far from silent, the answer merely whispered, for those with ears to hear and hearts to hearken, as destiny's inexorable wheel spun. In the deep recesses of the grandly sculpted throne room, where history seemed to cling to every inch of carved wood and gleaming marble, a solitary figure sat, letting a single beam of sunlight filter through the high windows and rest upon an ancient crown. Forgotten whispers of ancestry hung in the air like remnants of a bygone era. Majestic, almost haunting echoes of past regality brushed past the figure, an imposing monarch with eyes that seemed to hold both storms and starlight. The kingdom had known more tumult than tranquility, a land once vibrant with joy, now muted by shadows of betrayal and strife. But here was the turning point that would define a reign, marked not by its trials, but by the sheer force of will to seek something more profound, something eternal. The whispers grew louder, transforming into a clarion call that demanded a response, compelling the monarch to rise, muster strength from the depths of despair, and carve a path toward renewal. This was no ordinary odyssey of power, where crowns were exchanged with pomp. It was a riveting story, its pages a tapestry, woven with threads of unforeseen challenges, and the crushing weight of royal duty. The once impenetrable fortress of indifference echoed with the resonance of something unheard of: hope. The kingdom had not only been shackled by external foes, but also from within, tarnished by inner conflicts, deceit, and anguish that could shatter even the most robust souls. Yet resilience was not a gift lightly given. It demanded sacrifice and endless fortitude. It needed a heart willing to defy destiny's cruelty and reshape it into a legacy of hope and strength. You see, in this sprawling saga, hope felt almost forbidden, an ember barely flickering in a world cast in shadow. Yet, miraculously, it persisted. It was an undying presence that surged anew with each deliberate step taken by the sovereign. Ripples of change grew beneath the surface, a quiet revolution that sparked under the rule not of an infallible person, but one whose triumphs were born of scars, whose heart ingrained with valor pulsed with renewed conviction, and an unwavering pledge to restore a disparate realm. As the fabric of governance began to shift and mend, the people responded not with skepticism, as one might expect, but with a fervor that seemed to knit the kingdom's intent into a singular vision. The echoes of the past, once a chorus of regret, now melded into a ballad of resilience, turning the tide from despair to dedication. The people, the steadfast and simple folk, no longer just witnesses to a distant drama but custodians of their destiny. They stood as allies in the climatic redemption that promised nothing short of a renaissance. Their dreams no longer buried beneath the weight of oppression, but released, unfurling like a verdant canopy, spreading against a brightening sky. They were dreams that infused a rejuvenated spirit into the kingdom's future. And so, from the ashes of despondency, the flames of renewal arose, weaving a story not just of resilience, but of rebirth, a testament to the tenacity of human spirit and legacy forged through trials. It was an era where transformation did not herald the end of conflict, but a promise that persisted, a flame ever flickering, its light a beacon, calling for the dawn of new promises and eternal hopes. This was but the beginning, an unfinished symphony of resilience that reverberated through the corridors of time with an unyielding message. Renewal was not an outcome, it was the enduring journey itself. As the sun set over Buckingham Palace, its golden rays casting a warm glow on the ancient stone, an air of hushed contemplation enveloped the city. Inside, the royal family gathered, their faces lit by the flickering flames of the grand fireplace in their private drawing room. The missing records, though creating a ripple of chaos and concern, had also brought a solemn sense of unity to this storied lineage. William stood, his profile framed by a portrait of his late mother, Diana. Her gentle eyes seemed to watch over them, a comforting reminder of resilience through the tumultuous tides of royal life. His decision to cancel the tour, a bold departure from tradition, was met with an unprecedented outpouring of public empathy and understanding. The world awaited more answers, but in this moment, all that mattered was family. As the evening deepened, William joined his wife, Catherine, in reflecting on the weight as their roles. Standing by the window, they looked out at a sea of lights sparkling across London, each representing lives that intertwined with their own. Behind them, George, now asleep, lay nestled in Catherine's embrace, blissfully unaware of the storm swirling beyond the palace walls. In the days to come, the mystery of the missing records would slowly unravel, unlocking pieces of the past long shrouded in secrecy. The royal team worked tirelessly, driven by determination and a sense of duty, not just to the monarchy, but to a world looking up to them for strength and leadership. These turbulent events would eventually find their place in the annals of history, another chapter in the endless epic of the House of Windsor. Yet tonight, as they closed the door on a day of revealed vulnerabilities, they also reaffirmed an unspoken promise to protect, to nurture, and to hold fast to their own truths amidst a legacy built upon secrets. And so, the palace stood, eternal and unyielding, its corridors whispering tales of old and new, of shadows receding as the dawn of a new chapter slowly began to brighten the horizon.